my family coming out to this game. So this is going to be not only a huge game for myself, but I would say also for my family and my community that's going to come out to this game. I have Hispanic family that lives in LA, and so it's a little bit of an East Coast, Cuban heritage to a West Coast of my Mexican relatives, kind of coming together, all enjoying this moment, enjoying this in time for the Rose Bowl. The Rose Bowl is a magical place. LA, I believe, has the best weather on earth, and be able to play in this atmosphere, in the Rose Bowl, it's such a special moment for myself, my family, and I would say just, being able to play in front of an Hispanic and Latino crowd. It's what I do. I want to inspire young Latino kids, and I want to always represent my culture to the highest. And so that's something I'm looking forward to do on Thursday morning.
You being the Heisman Trophy, obviously the leader of this team, only undefeated team in college football, how do you detach as far as taking care of your mental health and your ability to be able to be the best person on the field and off the field?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that go into that, and I would say myself, I don't rely on myself. I rely on other trusted mentors, sports psychologists to always keep my mental game at my peak, because I know that's my responsibility to my coaches, to my teammates, and to the entire team to be able to be sharp mentally and not have other outside influences, pressures, and noise, and able to impact my game. I think one thing is just really, just keeping the process on how I got here and how the entire team got to this place, which is, keeping the process that I've kept for every single game. Don't change anything. And in that sense, also realize that it is a team game. The reason that I won the Heisman, had the opportunity to win the Heisman, is because we're 13-0. And at that point in the season, we were the best team in college football. And now we got to go prove it again and realize that, the Heisman was a team award, and now we got to get the ultimate team award, which is, first beating the Rose Bowl.
How have you seen Coach Cincinnati change this culture as far as Indiana football? Obviously, it's known as a basketball school, but now it's a football school as well. How have you seen over the course of this season change that course of action as far as having the stability in the culture?
Yeah, I would say I wasn't here before the change. I was just here for the Cignetti era. However, the way that I see the entire culture and the trickle-down effects from Coach Cignetti, not just Coach Cignetti, but all the assistant coaches, the GAs, the strength staff, just all the whole entire support staff, always pushing for the no complacency mindset, has really affected the locker room in a positive way, where everybody's going to this common goal, and everybody in the locker room knows what we got to get done and knows that we got to get better every single day. And there's no although we're 13-0, there's a lot of praise from media and a lot of awards. I would say there's no huge egos in the locker room. We're all trying to get better and trying to make the best Indiana offense, best Indiana defense, and best Indiana special teams possible.
How excited are you to win the Rose Bowl?
Yeah, I'm extremely excited. I've had one other opportunity to play in the stadium, the Rose Bowl. It was the last Pac-12 after dark game. It was Cal versus UCLA, and that was a really special game for myself. And watching the Rose Bowl growing up, for my time spending here living in California for the past 3 years, hearing everybody talk about the Rose Bowl it's really helped it sink in for myself. It's really helped it sink in on how monumental this game is and how much this means to the West Coast and how this really means to the entire country. I know a lot of people online say that the national championship should be played at the Rose Bowl because it's such a special venue, and I think that just speaks volumes on what a great venue this is and what a special game this is. I think that the Rose Bowl is the epitome of college football, and I'm so blessed and honored to be able to play in it.
Fernando, it's been 3.5 weeks since you won that championship game in Indianapolis, and of course the accolades you received after. What has Coach done to say, okay, this has all been well and good, let's forget about it and worry about the future?
Yeah, Coach gave us a little time off the bye weeks in which we're still working out, we're keeping our fundamentals sharp. However, it was 3 weeks ago, and although it was great and it was fantastic monument for IU football, I think one of the pros of having the first round bye is we have such a long break, and we're able to flip that page. We're able to get over that in a sense where we're very excited and happy that we did win it. However, we're not satisfied. We want to go and first win the Rose Bowl.
What did you learn from watching that Alabama-Oklahoma game? For a while, it seems like you're going to be playing the Sooners. To realize in the playoffs, every play matters and nothing's over until that all zeros in the clock.
Alabama's a resilient team. They're a resilient team. They're tough, and so is Oklahoma. I think it was a great SEC matchup. Excuse me. And I think that they're both fantastic teams. And I know both of them would have been tough fights. And we got the draw. We're playing Alabama. Everyone knows Alabama. They're SEC juggernaut. They have a great offense, great defense, great coach, and so really looking forward to playing them. And they're going to be a tough team, and I think that Oklahoma game speaks testament on how resilient they are, and they're a tough team to kill.
Fernando, this is a matchup that's never happened in college football in versus Alabama. Kind of growing up, like what was your impression of Alabama, or just the team in general?
Yeah, so my grandfather went to LSU, and so all his brothers, they went from Cuba to Miami High School, and they went to LSU because they good programs, and they let him in. And so he was always an LSU fan, and always seen those LSU-Alabama clashes. We'd always watch them as a family. And Alabama's been a juggernaut for forever. I mean, they are historically the best college football program of all time. And so to have, Coach Ignetti have coached there before, and take some of those attributes and implement them in Indiana football, I think it's a great opportunity for us. I think it's a great opportunity for us to play against an SEC opponent, which would be a fantastic opportunity for all our players, and we're just so honored to do it because there's such a high conference of football, and I think it's going to be a great first-time matchup.
Fernando, you mentioned that you were part Mexican.
So not like through my own blood, but my uncle, Juan Carlos Beretta, his family's Mexican, so my family married in Mexican. My mom's sister.
Really quick question: Cuban food is great, Mexican food is great. What are your favorite foods from both Cuba and Mexico?
Okay. I mean, I think they're both great cuisines. I would say, as far as Mexican food goes, I would say, I love enchiladas. They're so good, and then, those are just my favorite in that sense. And then also, quesadillas, so good. I love those. And I would say, as far as Cuban food goes, Cuban, I would say, is more of comfort food. So I would just say, I always go good with a good croqueta. It's like a little snack, a little jamon croqueta. It's the best. Yeah, Ty Simpson is an amazing player. I've seen him, or I've heard about him from a long time now. He was one of the top guys, and so I watched the whole entire 2022 Elite 11 class, and not only was he a great quarterback, he seemed like he was a great guy. And I think everyone he's rubbed off on, whether it's podcasts with Buzzing with the Boys or anybody, I've always seen his personality shine through, and I think that's why he's such a great leader of that team, in which people see he's authentic, he's genuine, and they want to go behind him. And also as a player, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, no doubt about it. We don't have many opponents in similar opponents, but they did play Wisconsin this year, and we also played Wisconsin, so I was able to dissect that game thoroughly, and that game showed why he's one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. He is extremely efficient, extremely accurate, and I have nothing to say. And I've actually from that game admired a lot from his game, and also we've taken a couple plays from that game against Wisconsin in game planning, and I've taken a couple of things in my own game watching him.
Fernando, only eight teams left in the playoffs here. So I know you personally probably feel you're fortunate to be where you are. How are you embracing this moment here, knowing you're just 3 wins away from winning a national title?
Yeah, that's a great question. Like you said, there's 8 teams left, and what a blessed opportunity. I can't thank God enough for this opportunity. However, we really got to focus on running the Rose Bowl first. Alabama is such a great team, and although it's number 1 against, I believe, number 9th or 8th seed, I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but it's such a great team. And last year we saw that all the teams had buys, they all lost. And so we're really going to take this opportunity day by day. And the national championship is the ultimate goal. I think any team would lie to you. They said it wasn't the ultimate goal, at the beginning of the season. And everybody has, a little bit of, I would say, a little futuristic vision where, we wanted the national championship. However, the Rose Bowl is so important to us. Having the opportunity to play Alabama, an opportunity to rise to the occasion against the Rose Bowl, which I believe is one of the best venues in sports. It's such a great opportunity for us.
Fernando, you mentioned the teams with the buys lost last year.
Yeah.
Have you guys put any thought into why that was the case? Is there something about that playoff that was problematic?
Yeah, I wasn't in those locker rooms and wasn't in those, programs, so I can't tell you. However, it is definitely an interesting statistic that all teams with the bye lost. And so I think that's, if anything, that's motivated us a little more to not take the complacency. Cool, we won the Big Ten Championship, page behind us. We really got to peak at the right time. The Big Ten Championship was amazing, great for IU fans, great for IU football history. However, we want to make sure that we're peaking at this moment in the Rose Bowl and then through the College Football Playoff.
Is there anything you guys did to make sure that there wasn't any complacency that's different or unique to this process?
I would say, although there's been a lot of attention throughout the entire program, there's really been no egos, and it's really been, I would say, a little bit of the crushing of egos, if in sense, like we've all held each other really accountable. We've held each other really accountable. We all realize, hey, right now is not the time to slack off. We've dreamed our entire lives for this moment since kids, and also as older men, we're going to realize and look back at this moment. So this is a moment that really, really counts in our college football careers. So let's make the most of it.
You had a lot to reflect on the last few weeks of that for you. You know, beating Ohio State, beating the Heisman. Are you just laser focused on this? How do you process that?
Yeah, I would say there's a couple of things, and I think having the month off is also a plus, although it was a negative for some teams last year. I think that I've been able to see personally as a plus, as is giving myself time to reflect on and let that, the Big Ten Championship, the Heisman, and all those other great things sink in a way where, okay, that's cool, boom, now we got the new season. Whereas everyone's 0-0, we got the College Football Playoff, and the best is you can be a part of. And let's go rise to the occasion and act like, hey, it's not like we have the Rose Bowl and we're trying to protect it from Alabama because we're a higher seed. No. We're both in this race and we're going to go take it. So I think our team really has embraced that taker mentality.
Is that something to prepare for, or are you just kind of learning that?
I would say I'm learning that on the fly. I mean, I'm not sitting here and lie to you. I've never, won a conference championship before and never won a Heisman before. So this being the first time, can't give all the glory to God. What a great opportunity. However, I think, the great coaches, teammates, and then great mentors that I have myself have really propelled me to be ready for this moment.
You tell your teammates, they all rave about you being great on the field, but an excellent teammate. Give me your thoughts on just why that's important to you to get that, to have that type of relationships with so many guys on your team.
I think it's really important because I believe our superpower as a team is that we have the glue, and that helps our resiliency and also helped us play through gritty moments. And it's really caring about the guy next to you. If you have one of your best friends lining up next to you, ready to go to war, ready to die for you, then it makes you play a little bit harder. In contrast, if you just have another coworker or someone who you might know, but kind of like an acquaintance, you might not lay your life and body on the line for them. And so I think all of us having this really, really strong and genuine connection helps us play harder for each other and also helps us communicate more efficiently with each other. We're able to talk to each other in different aspects. And being so close friendship-wise, we all know that, hey, if I get on, if he gets on me or if I get on him, it's not that personal. We're still going to be best friends or really, really good friends. It's just we want to achieve our goal.
So, Fernando, when you arrived in Bloomington, how did you go about reaching out and creating those relationships?
Yeah, I would say when I first got here, they had a really great leadership system, and I wanted to fit in and learn the most that I could and try to elevate it. And so the first thing I did is I made sure I knew everybody in the team's name to make sure that I cared about them. I studied the roster. Some people might think I was like, a stalker, a little creepy, having all these roster photos. And some of them were a little tough because people got different haircuts, and some people I didn't think transferred out, and there's new transfers in. But I would say I try to really learn everybody's name. And if I didn't get on the first try, I for sure got on the second try, and really show that, hey, I care about you. No matter if you're the star linebacker or you're a walk-on. No matter who you are, I'm going to care about you because I want to help this team win. I want to be a leader of this team. And I believe one of the best leaderships that I've been able to learn is servant leadership. And I'm religious, and Jesus Christ has showed that servantship, and that's something that I look to follow.
So what did you learn about your new teammates as you went about that process?
I learned a lot about my new teammates. I would say just the collection of forces to the common goal. That we all want to win. We're all here for the right reason. And if you're kind of going out astray and here for another reason, that the core group of guys and the majority of the guys are all towards a common goal. So we're either going to leave you or we're going to push you back in the herd. And so I think that's a big thing about the team is I see how serious they are about everything, and also the belief that everyone had that, hey, we're going to win a lot of games this year. Although outside noises may be saying, hey, Indiana was a fraud, Cinderella story, but we're going to win a lot of games this season. I think really having that majority of the team, if not all of the team, really having that belief that we're going to be able to go to the College Football Playoff and win a lot of games this year was huge for us.
Fernando, at what point in the season did you think or realize that this team could do something special?
Yeah, I would say I realized from fall camp when, the defense was giving our offense and myself personally such a hard time. I was like, wow, I don't think I'm as good as I think I am. and seeing how high level our team was operating and how great a football we were operating in the fall camp level, defense and offense, it's like, guys, this team has the potential to be very, very special. We just got to put it together. And for the first 4 weeks after we beat Illinois, I think that really sparked the belief, like, wow, we just crushed a top 10 team in the nation. We got to take this opportunity and run with it, because we are a good team. We have a fantastic defense. We have a fantastic offense. We have a great special teams unit. That, hey, we just crushed this top 10 opponent, and then we got Iowa and Oregon. Let's keep this momentum rolling. I think that's been a big thing for us, is whenever we reach a new milestone or a new peak, we're not complacent. Be like, yes, we won, and look back on it. We're okay. We gotta get better for the next opportunity. And I think that's been really special throughout this season to be the only undefeated college team left.
Fernando, there's a lot of other players in there. Joseph Ramos plays for Alabama. Do you keep in touch with any of these guys? Do you have a relationship with other Latino players in college football?
Yeah, I would say during the season it's tough. It's tough because although I would love to meet Latino guys from Alabama. Actually I do. There's a long snapper on Alabama, starting long snapper David Byrd. We played together at Cal. He's a great guy, one of my good friends, and having that connection at Cal, and then obviously we two different teams and new teams. It's been great to talk to him, throughout this week. And however, now we got to keep it all game focused, and I haven't talked to him since. But having connection with other Latino players, I think it's very, very important. However, I would say during the season it's a little tough, but during the offseason, looking forward to connect with them and looking forward to building that relationship.
Fernando, in Indianapolis, Sig said, I've got 3.5 weeks to get him humble and hungry again.
Yeah.
How did he go about doing it?
Yeah, I would say he really has kept us humble and hungry.
Yeah.
I would say that I would agree with that factual statement.
Yeah.
And I believe that we all realized that the Big Ten Championship was sweet, it was great, and it was a good taste in our mouth. However, we've had this entire month for not just Coach Sig, but all the other coaches to light a little fire under our butt in order to be, hey, we got to win the Rose Bowl. We have a great opportunity at the Rose Bowl. Big Ten Championship was great, but to be quite honest, now this is the biggest game in program history right here. So even if we, in theory, if we lose this game, like the season, yeah, it was great, but it's not what we want it to be. We will not be satisfied. So I think that, and really having that month period to let it all sink in, has really helped us elevate our practices, in which we're hungrier and more humble than ever.
Did he tear you guys down and film it all or anything? Like, look, we can do a lot better than we have. Any of that business?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that, yeah, maybe a little bit of that, but I'd say it's also each individual coach is really holding every player to the standard. Although we won Ohio State, there's a lot of things on film that, myself included, that we all needed to clean up. And so having that opportunity where everyone feels great about Ohio State after the Ohio State win, in reality, like a made field goal, that game's a lot closer. Who knows what happens? And it's kind of like a flip of the coin right there. So we held ourselves to a really high standard, and there's a lot that we need to get better from that game, that I know I need to get better from that game. And I'm really looking forward to showing that on the field Thursday.
One other question, different topic. How good is it going to be to have Omar Cooper back full speed?
Oh, that's going to be great. All our receivers really step up to the plate. I think we see, when Charlie Becker last week and E.J. Williams, when he went down, I would say we have so many great, and Jonathan Brady. Jonathan Brady also stepped in, had a couple of big catches in the Ohio State game. All our receivers are so talented. I'm confident with any receiver of a receiving core going out there. I'm full of confidence when they give us man-to-man coverage, no matter the team, that we can be able to win on those routes. However, having Omar Cooper Jr. back, being such a fundamental part of our season, having the Penn State catch, I believe he's a leading receiver on our team in yards as well. I think he's like double-digit touchdowns, which is insane. Having him back, I would say it's relieving as a quarterback, and it's just a great opportunity to throw to such an NFL talent such as him.
You mentioned the layoff has been, people talking about whether the layoff is good for the team or not biased, but how would you say it has benefited the team in getting ready for this game?
Yeah, I would think it's given us time to really set the previous success behind us. I think it's really had the opportunity to put this in two different seasons. We have the regular season with the regular season championship, Big Ten championship. Boom, that's done. Now, with a 26-day layout or break, I think, then boom, now we have this new season. We have this new season in which we have a 3-game season, but it's win or go home. So now it's kind of give us a mindset, hey, all that stuff is great. However, with this new season in front of us, and we got to try to conquer the opportunity.
And for
15 minutes remaining. 15 minutes.
Yeah, I would say it's all about trying to pass the torch. And someone that I watched as a high school kid, Zach Calzada, he's the quarterback for the University of Kentucky. When he was at A&M, I believe he either beat LSU or Alabama. I don't remember. It was one of the two teams. And he had that fantastic way, and I was like, wow, he's Cuban American too. Look at that, it's possible. And so I just hope to be an inspiration and a torch for any young Latino quarterback out there, and looking forward to meeting any young Latino quarterbacks, not even quarterbacks, but just Latino players across college football, and just anybody aspiring to play college football and to try to take excellence at the sport.
Hey Fernando, lately to the Wall Street Journal, I imagine that you probably had a lot of things on your whiteboard that you've achieved this year. So now that you're on this point, do you have to update it? What's on it now, or have the goalposts moved, so to speak?
Yeah, I would say that 26-day break that we've had has really helped myself transform that whiteboard.
Yeah.
In reality, this is a moment that I've been working towards my entire life. So if anything, the whiteboard has gotten, I would say, more centralized, and then also I would say it's gotten more intense, because this is, in reality, a 3-week or a month stretch that I've been looking forward to my entire life as a kid. And I know that I'll look back, as an older man, whenever I'm like 80 years old, I'll look back at this moment forever. And so my whiteboard has really honestly changed, and a lot of those goals that I've kept to myself, I really kind of erased them off the board and really kept a more fundamental and rudimentary track for these next 3 weeks of nutrition goals, of even off the field stuff like reading goals, of film goals, and all these little baby steps that I know are going to culminate to being the best Fernando Mendoza possible.
So is there white space on it anymore?
I would say, there is definitely white space. There's definitely white spaces. I wouldn't say it's too intense where, like, I'm not feeling, it's not a requirement to fill up every little space on the board. However, I would say keeping the main thing, and not trying to stretch myself out too thin. If I keep, the main 3 or 5 things that I need to do, the task at hand, then I'm really going to be able to excel at those. If I try to do, 20 different things, it's going to get all over the place. In reality, I'm not going to be able to keep it up.
It's not going to be like what the Charlie Day and Always Sunny, where they're crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's not going to be like the beautiful. I don't know if you've seen this movie. It's like The Beautiful Mind, where it's like all the math and stuff like that. And obviously, whenever I'm trying to figure out the whiteboard, it is like that. But I always try to condense it and to be able to have a sizable impact on myself.
Let's go up there. All right, Fernando Mendoza, it's good to see you, man. You talked about compartmentalizing when you get to this point in the Rose Bowl, and it's actually what goes through your mind?
Yeah.
What like the game of Ohio State? What was going through your mind that day?
There's a lot of things that go through your mind, and it's so easy for your mind to get crazy and get caught up in the moment. I think my biggest thing is just to stay grounded, stay present in the self. When I wake up for the game day against Ohio State, at that point, I'm not playing yet. I woke up. Let me have the best cold shower possible at that point. Let me have the best morning meditation possible at that point. And I really take it step by step, because when you try to, think about the entire big picture, it can allow someone's mind to be racing, have all these butterflies. However, when I get to that moment of the game, it culminates from the morning all the way to pre-game stretch to kickoff. These butterflies, they increase, in my chest and in my feeling. However, then I'm able to take those butterflies and really redirect them towards my positive, towards myself, in which I'm able to have an increased where I'm able to have an increased awareness, increased playing style, and increased leadership with my teammates. So I'm really realizing that these butterflies and these nerves throughout the day, they're building up in anticipation for the game, and then boom, the game starts, and these nerves just tell them, hey, my body's ready. And then boom, then I'm able to redirect these nerves and these butterflies in order to defeat my opponent.
You're gonna heck of a
We're
ride.
going to take one more question for Fernando. We got to grab him.
Impacted you as a person. Like, if you were to recommend it to a kid, you talk about young Latinos, how has it changed your life?
Yeah, football has changed my life, and it's changed my family's life. It's been great, and I think that football, not only all the external activities and external awards and media has been, great for my family. However, I would also say that it's the fundamentals of teamwork, of team chemistry, of working hard, and all those fundamentals that really deploy someone to be successful in life, and those strong attributes have really helped myself become a better character and become a better man, which I think is more important than all.
Who's your favorite Alabama player of all
Thanks so much. God bless.
Who's your favorite Bama player of all time?
Who? What's there?
Favorite Alabama player of all time?
Oh man, there's so much. I mean, I love Tua. I would say I love Tua. He's a fantastic player. You know, he plays in the 305, the Dolphins. So I would say Tua. I say Tua just off the bat, one of my favorite players of all time. I mean, obviously he's a lefty, so like I think it's very interesting as a quarterback to kind of see that reverse. You know, instead of righty, like reverse lefty throwing motion. And I would say he's my favorite Alabama player of all time.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Fernando.
Thank you. God bless.
We're gonna drive. That's how you do it.